The region's farmers in the early 1800s were yeoman farmers who generally engaged in subsistence farming. They owned small parcels of land just big enough to support and feed their families. They weren't interested in traveling to town to sell their crops to others because the few roads that existed were dangerous. One would risk running into outlaws like Colorado Bill or even the infamous Jesse James gang. These bandits robbed banks and fought with local settlers.
During the late 1800s, hanging Judge Isaac Parker held court in the area. His jurisdiction extended out into Indian Territory. It was a huge, huge area of land. And given Fort Smith's location, combined with the connection to Indian Territory in that way, gave Fort Smith sort of a Wild West flavor. And that continued for many years. People often thought of Fort Smith as being in the west instead of maybe a southern town or a town to the east.
Steamboat travel arrived in the river valley in the 1820s, and goods could be shipped up and down the Arkansas River, and that's when growers started selling their crops. Many local farms gradually became more large-scale. In addition to cotton, wheat, corn, and other vegetables, some farmers in the valley also grew cash crops like tobacco, hemp, and grapes for making wine. Whether it was cotton, wheat, or travelers throughout the 19th century, the Arkansas River served as the safest and most reliable mode of transportation for hauling goods and people through the region and to neighboring states at a time when roads and rail lines were still few and far between in the valley. However, there were times when the river would get too shallow in spots, bringing shipping to a halt. It wasn't until the 1960s when one of the most important events to affect this region occurred.
I think just the Arkansas River Valley was important throughout Arkansas history as a transportation corridor because of the transportation opportunities that it offered. With its water, obviously, it offered a way to get from east to west across Arkansas and played an important role in making sure that people were able to travel in that direction. Today, it remains important, the McClellan-Kerr waterway.
The U.S. Corps of Engineers built the McClellan-Kerr Arkansas River Navigation System, making the river more navigable and easier for shipping and hauling cargo today. The river, the railroad, and highway travel have all helped in populating this region and contributed to its growth.